Have you ever found yourself in a relationship that felt more like a constant emotional battle than a source of love and support? Maybe it started off beautifully, full of excitement, passion, and affection. But slowly, the cracks began to show. The small arguments turned into larger fights. Your self-esteem began to erode, and you started questioning your worth. Have you ever thought, is this just a normal relationship struggle? Or am I in something toxic? The truth is, many people stay in unhealthy relationships for far too long, convincing themselves that the dysfunction is just part of the ups and downs of love. But what if I told you that toxic behavior in relationships is often subtle and insidious, making it difficult to spot until it's too late? It's easy to overlook red flags when you're emotionally invested, or when your partner makes you feel guilty for doubting them. However, recognizing these toxic patterns early on is crucial to protecting your mental health, peace, and self-worth. In this video, we'll explore the signs of toxic relationships, why it's essential to prioritize your well-being over unhealthy dynamics, and how to make the difficult decision to walk away when it's time. By identifying toxic behaviors like emotional manipulation, gaslighting, and emotional neglect, you can stop the cycle of self-doubt and start building a healthier, more fulfilling life. 1. Recognize toxic patterns in relationships. The first step in addressing toxic relationships is recognizing the harmful patterns that can easily be mistaken for normal relationship struggle. Toxic behaviors such as emotional manipulation and constant criticism often creep into relationships gradually, leaving you feeling stressed, insecure, and doubting your worth. These negative behaviors aren't just occasional misunderstandings. They are persistent, unbalanced dynamics that make you feel worse over time. In toxic relationships, you might find yourself second-guessing everything you do, feeling constantly drained, or losing touch with who you really are. When emotional manipulation, jealousy, or lack of accountability become the norm, it's easy to think that this is just how relationships are supposed to work. But it's not. True love and respect in a relationship should empower you, not leave you feeling small or anxious. It's important to acknowledge when the struggles in a relationship go beyond the typical disagreements, becoming something that chips away at your self-esteem and sense of self-worth. 2. Red flags to leave a relationship. Recognizing the subtle signs of a toxic relationship is key to breaking free from the cycle of emotional harm. Here are 10 red flags that should be considered a wake-up call to end a relationship. 1. Emotional manipulation. Emotional manipulation is one of the most damaging tactics in toxic relationships. This behavior involves making you feel guilty for having needs or doubting yourself. A manipulative partner often uses your vulnerabilities against you, making you feel responsible for their emotional state. If you are constantly feeling like you have to walk on eggshells, or that you can never do anything right, it's a sign of emotional manipulation. Lack of accountability. A partner who rarely takes responsibility for their actions is a red flag. Instead of apologizing or acknowledging mistakes, they shift blame onto you or others. This lack of accountability erodes trust and forces you to question your instincts and self-worth, creating a toxic dynamic where you feel perpetually at fault. 3. Love bombing and emotional neglect. This toxic behavior starts with intense affection, flattery, and attention, known as love bombing, only to be followed by emotional neglect. Initially, the constant affection feels like the ideal relationship. But as time goes on, your partner's attention fades, leaving you chasing the love and validation you once received. This push and pull create an addictive cycle that can be incredibly difficult to break free from. 4. Victim mentality. A partner who consistently portrays themselves as the victim turns every situation into their own grievance, redirecting the focus away from the real issues in the relationship. This behavior traps you in a cycle of guilt, where you feel responsible for fixing things that aren't your fault, making it nearly impossible to have a healthy conversation or resolution. 5. Constant criticism is not constructive. It's about tearing you down over again. When your partner critiques your every action, decision, or choice, it chips away at your confidence and self-worth. Over time, this unrelenting negativity makes you feel inadequate and dependent on their approval. Jealousy, masked as love, excessive jealousy, and controlling behavior, are often disguised as love and concern. However, this dynamic creates an unhealthy, suffocating relationship. A partner who constantly questions your interactions with others, tracks your movements, or accuses you of infidelity is not showing love. They are demonstrating insecurity and possessiveness. This type of behavior undermines trust and is a major red flag. Silent treatment as punishment. The silent treatment is another form of emotional manipulation used to punish and control you. Rather than addressing conflicts directly, your partner chooses to withdraw communication, leaving you in an emotional limbo. This tactic causes anxiety and desperation, making you feel like you must fix the situation to restore harmony, even though there's no productive conversation happening. 8. Gaslighting. Gaslighting is one of the most insidious forms of emotional abuse. This behavior involves manipulating you into doubting your own reality, memory, and perceptions. Gaslighting causes you to second-guess yourself, making you feel unstable or irrational, and slowly eroding your sense of self. If your partner frequently denies things they've said or done, twists your words, or tries to convince you that you're overreacting, you're likely being gaslighted. 9. Making you responsible for their happiness. A partner who makes you solely responsible for their happiness creates a one-sided relationship where you are expected to fulfill all their emotional needs. This can lead to emotional exhaustion, as you are constantly trying to meet their expectations while neglecting your own needs. A healthy relationship requires two individuals who are both capable of finding happiness and fulfillment independently. Threats to leave. Frequent threats of abandonment during disagreements create insecurity and fear, manipulating you into compliance. Instead of resolving issues through open communication, a partner who uses threats to leave as a bargaining chip causes emotional turmoil, making you feel like you're walking on eggshells to prevent them from walking out. Value your peace and self-respect. Perhaps the most important step in breaking free from a toxic relationship is recognizing your own worth and prioritizing your mental peace. No relationship, no matter how deep your feelings, should leave you feeling anxious, unworthy, or emotionally drained. You deserve a relationship that nurtures and supports you, not one that constantly tests your limits. When you start to prioritize your self-respect and emotional health, the idea of staying in a toxic relationship becomes impossible. It's not about running away from love. It's about running towards peace, self-love, and mutual respect. Relationships should add to your life, not take away from it. They should elevate your sense of self-worth, not diminish it. 4. Community and self-worth awareness. The journey to breaking free from a toxic relationship is often not one that can be done alone. Seeking support from friends, family, or professional counselors can help you regain perspective and clarity. Building your self-worth involves surrounding yourself with positive, supportive people who encourage your growth and remind you of your value. Additionally, there is power in recognizing toxic behaviors and knowing when to step away. As you strengthen your own self-respect, you empower others to do the same. Sharing your experiences and supporting others who are in similar situations can foster a community of individuals who prioritize mental health, respect, and personal growth. Protecting your peace and self-worth. It's never easy to walk away from a relationship, especially one that has had its highs. But when the lows become constant and your emotional health is at risk, it's time to evaluate what is truly best for you. Recognizing toxic patterns, such as emotional manipulation, lack of accountability, and constant criticism, is the first step in breaking free from a harmful relationship. Remember, you deserve respect, peace, and love that enhances your worth. Protecting your self-respect, emotional health, and peace is the greatest act of self-love you can perform. The decision to leave a toxic relationship isn't just about ending something. It's about embracing the opportunity for growth, healing, and building a future filled with love, trust, and mutual respect.